funky fresh.
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Women's Volleyball Edition, and my guest for this week's show was none other than sophomore outside hitter on the women's volleyball team, Buscher. Sierra, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
You're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. Now, by now, everybody really knows that you are one of the three girls on this team from Iolani School. Of course, you came over with Moya and Emily Sonata. So now I'm going to ask you, just how comfortable is it to be playing with your friends from high school?
Well, I've actually played volleyball with Emily since my first year of club, which
Really?
was like at the age of 11. And so we've been playing volleyball forever together. And then Moya, I started playing with her since I was like 7th grade. So we've been playing for a long time together. So of course we're gonna have like this super special chemistry. So yeah, I love playing next to them. I know each of their capabilities. I know what balls they can take and what balls they're not, so it's super great to have them on the court next to me.
Now, you do a little bit of everything for this Menlo College team. How do you diversify your skills so well and get so good in so many different areas?
I think definitely I've grown a lot like recently. I used to hate playing back row. I used to hate balls flying at me, but now it's like one of my favorite things to do. So I think just like I have a really competitive mindset and I love challenges. So I think just getting better daily, just competing every day helps me to get a lot better.
You also love racking up those double-doubles, something you've been doing quite a lot of as of late for the Oaks.
Yeah, those are nice, but I mean, I don't really pay attention to that. I just try to play my game every day.
Now, you lead the conference in aces, and you are top 10 nationwide in that department as well. Is that something that you knew?
Yeah, no, I didn't know that at all.
Well, there you go. You're top in the conference and you're top 10 nationwide in aces. What makes your serve so wicked?
Well, I just try to keep everything simple. I try to keep it consistent. I have a routine that I do every time. I take a breath and I just go after it. I try to keep my toss in front, and Denise has like worked a lot on just staying aggressive with our serve. She wants us to like go for it, so just having that confidence is good. And then we have Coach Zach. He's always on the sideline giving us areas to serve, so if I keep my routine consistent, if everything falls into place like it should and I hit my spot, it's pretty much an ace every time. So.
And that's been the case pretty much all season long for you. You've been racking up those aces left and right. All right, let's talk a little bit about the team now. This year's team has 15 wins. You guys are 15-6. Last year's team had 15 wins, and you still have an entire month of the season left. What's been the biggest difference this year for Menlo?
I think at the beginning of the season, we all sat down like for a long time and we talked about what our goals were, what we wanted to see for this season. We talked about the culture of Menlo volleyball and what we wanted that to be, and we all like agreed on what we want for that culture, and since day one we've bought into that culture. And so I think that's really the biggest difference, is everyone has the same mindset and we're all just going for it every day.
And not only have you all bought into it, but it seems like y'all are having a really fun time playing volleyball too.
Yes, of course. When you're winning and you're doing well, even when you're losing but you're still playing well, it's a way better feeling.
Now, you guys took down Pacific Union in 4 sets on Wednesday to get that 15th win of the season, and Sophia Selim set a career high in kills that night. She seems to be one of the streakiest players on this Oaks team from the outside hitter perspective. What allows her to get rolling so well?
She's definitely a great hitter. She's very smart. She'll use the block. She also has a lot of power behind it, so if she sees daylight, she sees a hole, she'll like hammer into that, which is really good. Plus our setters, they've been working a lot. They come in before practice every single day and they work on getting the tempo, the location, to the pins and to the middle. Like, they're working every day to get it perfect. So I think that's coming together, and it's just giving us all, including Sophia, like the confidence to just swing away, and knowing you have someone behind you to cover you. It's just gives you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, for sure. I like that you mentioned the setters too. Monica Ruby's won Setter of the Week in the conference twice. Jade Rockwood just announced yesterday she won Setter of the Week. So it's a team effort for you guys, no doubt. And it starts with sometimes you're playing in the back, starts in the back, move up to the setter position, and then the attackers can just do their thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, in recent weeks, the overall attacking seems to be on the rise, more kills and fewer attack errors. So you might have already answered this just a little bit ago, but has there been maybe a change in mentality, or has it just been overall team play starting to come together?
I think, like I said, we established like a culture of what we want men's volleyball to be, and one of that is staying aggressive, attacking. And so at the beginning of the season, we're still working on it, and I think recently it's definitely come together, and we're able to swing, and knowing people are behind us to cover us, and the set's going to be there. And so yeah, that's just the mentality has always been there, but now it's really like coming together, and we're really seeing it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, with 1 month left in the season, you now get a chance to play all of these GSAC schools for the second time. What kind of adjustment period is there for you guys and for the opposition as well?
Well, of course, we all can watch film again, and so we'll watch film on Jessup or on any of the teams, and we'll see what we did well during that game. We'll talk about it, what we want to do again, and then we'll see what we can work on for that game, and then we'll also look at like the tendencies of the hitters on the other side and just have an idea of what's going to come back at us so we can be more prepared.
So you mentioned Jessup. They're the first team that you guys get to face the second time. You have them this weekend in conference play, and you already beat them once. How are you going to take what you learned from that last match and turn it into another victory this upcoming weekend?
I think for that game, it was definitely a serve and pass game. We served really tough, and so they were always out of system. They couldn't really run their offense like they're really good at. So we kept them out of system, which meant that easier balls were coming back at us, and we were able to put balls away. So I think just serving tough again, and then being able to pass, serve, receive well, and dig balls, and then that should be good for us.
All right, Sierra, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 random off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answer.
Okie dokie.
Question number 1. Which teammate is the worst at doing things with the opposite hand?
This is a hard question.
I know you're ambidextrous, so you don't have a problem doing that.
Yeah. Well, I can't hit with my left hand.
Okay.
But I can write with it. I don't know. Like, I know people who are like good with their opposite hand. But I don't know. Like,
who gives off the vibe that they would not be good?
I think Monica Ruby.
Why?
Just something that strikes me is yesterday at practice we were practicing hitting like weird angles with our shots, and it was just like, it was awkward for all of us, but it was really awkward for her. She was my partner, and she was just really awkward, so I feel like she wouldn't be good at doing things with her left hand.
All right, Monica, Sierra's calling you out, saying you didn't do too well at that drill, so you might want to step up.
I mean, everyone had a rough time with it, including myself, so.
Okay, well, now she's trying to play good girl here and try to get back on your good side, but I'm not going to let that fly. Question number 2. Who has the strangest superstition on the team?
I'd have to say Jade Rockwood. Earlier this season, she said she was going to burn her pair of shoes because they weren't helping her out. So she went and bought a new pair of shoes, and she doesn't wear her old shoes anymore.
Did she burn them?
I don't think she burned them. Like, I see her walking around in them, but she doesn't like play volleyball in them.
Okay, well, now we're going to have a conversation with Jade and figure out why she hasn't actually followed through and burned these shoes. Although that is a bit extreme there. I'm not quite sure if it's the
she bought a brand new
fault.
pair of shoes.
Well, maybe
And the
it
other
was
ones
just
were
time.
brand new.
Okay, well, maybe it wasn't just time. I don't know. Question number 3. Which teammate is most likely to fangirl at her celebrity crush?
Definitely, no. No. Definitely Maggie McDonald. She's in love with Justin Bieber.
Oh, no.
She has his posters, his calendars. He's her screensaver. She gets like updates on Justin Bieber and only Justin Bieber. She is on it when he releases a new song. She's the first one to hear it. Definitely Maggie McDonald.
That sounds like it's a little bit of Bieber fever, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Do you share in that feeling?
Not nearly as much as she does. I like him, but not like she does.
But not enough to have a screensaver of Justin Bieber. Okay. All right. Sierra, thank you for joining me on the show. I appreciate it. And fans, it is a road weekend for Menlo College women's volleyball, and it's just one game for the Oaks this weekend as they take on the Warriors up in Rockland. Menlo College versus William Jessup on Saturday. And first serve for that one is set for 2 o'clock local time. We invite you to tune into next week's show when Sierra Buscher will select the next interviewee on Unrooted Women's Volleyball Edition. Until then, we'll see you next week, and take care, everybody.
Shoots.
Automatic, supersonic, hypnotic, funky, fresh. With my body so melodic.